guys, my name is Ashley with the Yarn Barn NC, and today I'm here for my second video here on YouTube. I know it has been a long time since my first one, which was everything I'm bringing to my market. That was probably a couple months ago, and I do apologize, but market season has been in full swing, so I've been a little busy with that. We also went on a few vacations and everything like that, so just living life, and life happens. So I'm here today for a second video, and I did get a lot of great questions in the comment section of my first video. So today I am here to answer all of those questions while also doing a crochet with me, because I do have a market this weekend. So I'm just trying to get a few more bigger plushies to take to that market. So today we're going to be crocheting a dolphin. The pattern is by Crochet by Kitten Girl. This is the second time I'm trying this pattern, but I'm super excited to make it again and answer all of your questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so before we get started on the dolphin, I am going to tell you that I'm using Chanel Home Slim in Navy Speckle. I saw this idea from Koozie Crafts on Instagram on the pattern test for this pattern, so I decided to try it out myself. So I'm using Chanel Home Slim in Navy Speckle for the body, and then I think Chanel Home Slim or Sweet Snuggles Light in just white for the belly. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the dolphin. Okay, so we are starting on the fins first. So while I make the fins, I have my notebook right in front of me so I don't forget any of the questions that were asked. But first, I'm just going to start off with a little introduction. My name is Ashley. I am the owner and crocheter for the Yarn Barn NC. I have been crocheting since, I think it's like July of last year. So like July of 2022 maybe. I started crocheting because I found out basically that I had severe anxiety. I have been a server for the past like 5 years, and I just basically couldn't take it anymore. So I decided to actually quit my job and because of severe anxiety. And I basically just found crocheting. I looked up like anxiety relief things to do, and crocheting was the first one. I definitely can say I didn't think I would be crocheting plushies. I kind of didn't know that they existed until I kind of ventured on TikTok and saw them all, and they were all so cute. So I basically jumped right into plushies. I didn't even make a scarf or a hat or anything like that like normal people do. So I started making plushies. I basically started making them for my niece, and I kind of fell in love with them and all the like different things you can make. I am 21 years old. I live with my boyfriend Luke. We have been together for 5 years now, and we I would say recently, like a year ago, got our dog Tally. We were told she was a dachshund mix. So we were like, oh, she'll be like tiny and cute. And then about a year in, we were like, she's a lot bigger than what we thought. She's like 45 pounds, and we're like, and no dachshund is 45 pounds. So we did a DNA test, and turns out she is actually 25% Chihuahua, and then like 30% Australian Shepherd, whatever. But she's, all I know is 100% good girl. That's what we always say. But yeah, that's basically my life. I crochet full time. I do markets. I have website, Etsy, TikTok, all that fun stuff that goes along with it. But yeah, it's actually a great job to have, and I love it. Alright, so I just finished both of the fins. This is a no-sew pattern, which are my favorite. I hate sewing. With everything in me, I hate sewing. But mainly the questions that I got in the comments of my last video were just questions about the items that I use to create my plushies. And sorry if I look over here, my pattern is sitting over here, so. But mainly it's how I make the plushies and what I use to make them. So mainly the yarn that I use is Sweet Snuggles Light or Chanel Home Slim. Those are the main yarns that I use. Sometimes I use Parfait Chunky or Burnett Blanket, but those really aren't my favorite. Recently I've really been struggling with finding Sweet Snuggles Light or Chanel Home Slim in stores. So I've had to purchase a lot of it online, which I don't mind, but I'm really impatient, so I like to like feel it and look at it in store before I purchase it. But another thing that was asked was what kind of hooks I use. I mainly use clover hooks. So for Sweet Snuggles Light, I use a 7mm hook, which might be a little bit bigger than what you guys use, but I have really tight tension because of the way I hold my yarn. And nobody come for me on how I hold my yarn. I have tried multiple times to switch it to like this way and stuff. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not sure why. But another thing that I use is polyfill. I use Fairfield polyfill. I get it from Joann's. Personally, I know a lot of people say that Walmart is cheaper than Joann's, but I really only buy it when it's on sale and I can use a coupon, so that's mainly what I get. And then also safety eyes. My safety eyes that I use, if you guys follow me on Instagram or anything like that, I mainly use black safety eyes, and I get those from Amazon. Super nice. I've never had an issue with them, and they're a lot cheaper. I know a lot of people say that AliExpress has really good safety eyes. I just don't have the patience to wait for AliExpress shipping. But that is mainly everything that I use to create my plushies. Okay, so another great question that I got was just how I find my markets. And the best place that I found to find markets is just on Facebook. So I have joined a lot of Facebook groups that are just Raleigh local markets, since I do live in the Raleigh area of North Carolina, or just North Carolina artisan markets or anything like that. You just search in like the little group section of Facebook, and there are tons of them. They are basically just people that put on the events. They join these groups, they post that they're looking for vendors, and then you can apply through there, or you message them and ask how to apply. Super easy. It's just sometimes it can be a hit or miss on those events, since some of them might not be as advertised as other ones, like your big street festivals and things like that. But it's just a great way to get yourself out there at any market. So I definitely recommend doing that. But another great question that I got were what my best sellers at markets are. And it really varies based on the clientele that I get at these markets. So if I'm at like an elementary school PTA event, then basically any type of small items like the pocket octos, baby whales, anything like that do really well, jellyfish. But if I'm at like a brewery or something like that, then like it's more of like a millennial thing. So axolotls happen to be really popular at that age group. Any type of mushroom or like plants or anything like that do really well. But I can say overall my best-selling item that I have ever made and bring to almost every single market are axolotls, which are crazy because I personally did not know what axolotls were, but they are extremely popular. You can do them in basically like any color variations, and they're just like really cute. And most patterns that I found are no-sew, so they are great market prep items. I usually hate making the same thing over and over again, just because I do crochet as a hobby, but also as a business, and I don't really want to be burnt out. And making like 50 of the same items can really cause you to be burnt out, and I don't really want that because I truly do love crocheting and being able to do it as a business. So I try my best to make a lot of different things. That's why if you see any of my market setups, I definitely bring a lot of different color variations and things like that, just because I like to make whatever I want to make. I make what I want to make, and then I just show up at a market and sell them. So that's just how I keep it fun and interesting for me, and not making the same thing and making me never want to pick up a crochet hook again. So yeah. All right, so right now we are working on the tail. This has turned out to be a lot bigger than the other dolphin that I crocheted using this pattern, just because when I crocheted it the first time, I was using Parfait Chunky, which is quite a bit smaller than the Chanel Home Slim or Sweet Snuggles Light. But probably my most asked question on any of my social medias are how I price my items. I know a lot of people have different formulas, they weigh their items, they time themselves, all that. I personally don't do any of that. I basically just look at an item, I kind of think about how long it took me, but I'm like, yeah, that probably took me less than an hour, so I do this. But I basically just look at the item and think of like a decent price for them. That's I know it doesn't sound right at all, but I personally just look at the item and I'm like, that looks about $30. I personally grew up in a household where I didn't get basically everything I wanted. I got what I needed and I had a great childhood, but we didn't buy any of these extra things. So when I go to markets and my main customer base are, younger children to teenagers, I want everybody to be able to afford an item at my booth. Whether I have a lot of smaller items and I do have some bigger items that I know will not sell at the first market I take them to because they are more expensive. They did take me a lot of time. And so I know that I might, those might follow me to a few markets, but some of my smaller items, I do make those specifically so everybody can purchase something from my booth to, just bring a little joy to everybody. I want everybody to be able to buy my item and enjoy the plushies that I make. So I really don't have any specific theories behind them. I just look at an item and be like, yeah, $8. It's about as simple as you can get it. I know I probably should do something a little bit more theoretical and have a formula and all that, but me personally, I just have fun with it and I just price what I want to. So it's that simple. Okay, so I have my iPad right beside me, going through the comments just to make sure that I have covered everything. I do have a comment on here that's asking me how I prep for my markets. And I feel like I kind of already answered that, but just to, go over it again, I kind of just make what I want to make. I don't really I try my best not to make a whole bunch of the same item. And if I do, I try to make a lot of different color variations, so everybody gets like their favorite color or anything like that. But I really just make what I want to make. I have all of my market items in one area. So my tables, my displays, all that, I have it all in one area. So that is very easy. I just throw it all in the car. And then I bought these awesome little pink bags back here to put all of my plushies in, that will be linked in my Amazon storefront. But they are awesome. You can even wear them as backpacks or anything like that. So it makes it super easy to transport all the plushies to your market. But I really don't do any major prep. I make what I want to make. I price items. Now I do put everything in an Excel spreadsheet, so I can see everything that I have, a total amount of items, a total amount of inventory money-wise. Not that I really have a designated like target price or number of items that I bring, but just to give myself an idea so when I do come home and do my ending product inventory, I can see how much money I made. And I mainly only do that just so I know, okay, this was a good market, I can do that again next year. Now, I do have a lot of markets that I just don't make a lot of money, and they're not busy and they're not well trafficked, not well advertised. So I just know, okay, that's an event that I'm not going to do again. And that's basically the only reason that I do the Excel spreadsheet. I try to make my crochet business. I know it is a business, but I try to still be able to keep it fun and entertaining for myself and still keep it as a hobby. So it's still fun for me. If I look at it more as a business and I try to make this much a month, I try to make this many products of this, it's just not fun for me and I physically don't want to crochet. So this is just a way that I keep it fun for myself. Okay, so now I have just the body done. I have the tail done and all this pretty much almost done. I just have to stuff it and I know it's going to take a lot of stuffing. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started and I'm gonna finish this up. I've already gone through a lot of the comments. I have my iPad right beside me and I have answered almost all of the questions. After going through them, it was just a lot of what yarn do you use and things like that, about patterns. And I have learned from my most recent video to leave patterns in the description because that was a lot of the questions like, oh, what pattern did you use for the axolotl? What pattern did you use for the cow? And things like that. So I have learned from my mistakes on that one. But I think as of now, I have answered all of the questions that I really wanted to, I gotta get my stuffing, that I really wanted to get answered and just not gatekeep and get all of you guys to be all crochet queens like the rest of us. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I will, once I finish stuffing this, I'll show you guys what it's all looks like, but I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I do have a market this upcoming weekend, so I'm hoping, if I remember, it's supposed to rain, but it is inside, so I'm not really sure how that's gonna go, but I will try my best to try and take some clips, but If I don't, definitely check me out on Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. I will have those linked in the description, so you can keep up with me. I always post pictures of my booth and things like that and how it went. So I really appreciate it. I will show you guys here in a second when I'm done stuffing this and finished closing them up. Okay, so here's my finished dolphin. Again, the pattern is by Crochet by Kitten Girl. I will also have it linked in the description for you. Oh, he is covered in fuzzies, oopsies. But this is my finished dolphin, cute little belly. So yeah, he is all done, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you guys have any questions that I did not answer in this video, please leave them in the comments, or you can message me on any of my socials and I will get back to you. So thank you.